All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It is Friday. Time for more Tales of Arise. We are just about to finish, feels like at least. Feels like this is the final dungeon of Lord 4. And then we have one area left, right? And no twist. Just, yep, we go beat up all 5 lords and nothing will happen. This game's playing its cards very close to the chest. To the point where I don't even know what the cards they're holding are. You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna get the Autophagos? Or like... I'm trying to think of another like more late game twist. Autophagos is probably the most like ridiculous one where the game just turned on a dime from being about you can't change a corrupt system from within to climate change is real. And we need to punch it with a large sword. Anyway. Also, hopefully things look a little better. We did a hardware upgrade, so hopefully everything looks nicer. Just maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I can't tell. My eyes are like
you guys want to rest here?
Blind to this sort of thing. All right, we are about to go onto a harbor. Characters are fun enough I can forgive it secretly. Hopefully it gives more hints. Yeah. I mean, like, there has to be a turn. I just have no freaking clue what it is, right? Climates in this place are pretty extreme. At least they have, like, explained that this area. These rings are like every area has this giant Renin machinery from the invasion where they like delineated the areas. So yeah.
Sleeping on the ground beneath the heavens like this, why, it's hard to complain.
Alright. God, I love fashion. I want you to know how much I love fashion. Damn. Kisara's good. Oh, right. Oh, I just remembered where we are in the plot. I saw Law's face and went, oh. Right. Okay. That's what we're doing today. Alright, well, anyway. Let's go get revenge, but not too much revenge. Because too much revenge is bad.
Easy peasy. I knew I could handle it.
Let's bracers. And...
Shion, could we talk a moment?
Looks like nobody we've got a up with, but... I think we're on, like, B with most... Been thinking about the dumb thing that happened last time. I've been thinking about it a lot as well.
I think it's time we go to sleep.
Talking with folks. One of the biggest things I think that's a missing piece is that Rinwell really needed to be into the murder before everything went down instead of after. Like, that feels like a necessary piece to make her seem too bloodthirsty rather than the exact same as the party. You know what I mean? Oh, hold on, can I? Oh, come on, I want a Wile E. Coyote this. Trying. Ooh, maybe? Mega Man? Mega Man? Whoa! Mega Man. Anyway, let's get moving in. I'm told, again, I was told there's a boat where there's a missing Hoodle. And we'll have to make sure that if this
There's
is...
an elevator. Looks operational.
We have to grab the Hoodle before... Luckily, this game denotes its bosses really, really hard. It's not like weird and unfortunate things are happening level hard where, like, Alicia gets a vision, but, like, you'll see a heal point on the ground, like, right here, and the door to the boss will be like, are you sure you want to go in here? So... Ooh, alright. I'm sorry, you have a... Wow. I mean, I guess, right, the Renans have, like, super tech. Like, here I am expecting, like, you know... you know, a galleon? You know what I mean? Like, we walk in here, and there's, like, a big old boat.
There's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danans. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almeidrea.
Hey, how's this place look? Not the best place to work, but you get fish. Yes, this looks like a cruise ship with a crane on the front. Wait, that crane on the front looks like a Final Fantasy X boss. I need to hit it with a blitz ball or something, I think is how it works. Okay, so the Donans here, like, just sort of have been living and doing their job. They aren't even aware of the like, heavy treat. They're not even aware of the, takeover, it seems. None of them here. Yeah, I ain't been back to Nice for a long time. I don't give a shit. Hey, Booker. We're, finding mackerel around here, and we're just sort of checking out this goddamn boat. I do appreciate the explicit warning if I miss it. If I do miss it, do let me know. I shouldn't, though, because I've been pretty thorough on, you know. Yeah. Wait. This isn't Almeidrea's personal ship? Oh. This is just the ship we're taking to get out to Almeidrea's personal ship. Yeah, damn. Alright. What, do you have a goddamn, like, aircraft carrier out in the seas? Are you prepping a ship for war against, like, Renans or what? Or, like, all of Rena or something? What the hell is Almeidrea doing? Ship they use to transport cars. Oh, hey, look, you can see over here. Yeah, look at this. This is the port where the big ship was built. So this is like tiny ship port. And this is where the big ship docks.
You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first.
Oh, Lord.
We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me, or you'll sink her before she makes it out the
Ooh,
harbor.
Ifrid. Give me an Ifrid. We need an
We're
Ifrid.
losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
We gotta have an
More
Ifrid.
like it. Name's Mahavar.
That's fine.
Just give me a holler when you're all set, and we'll set sail.
Again, one of the things that's a common through line in all Tales games. I want to say Ifrid's an all Tales games thing. Like, there aren't a lot of through lines that are all. Ifrid might be. Ifrid also might have a couple games where Ifrid doesn't exist. Like, I don't know if Fantasia, I don't recall Fantasia having an Ifrid, but like, Ifrid's around so much. We know, you know, Ifrid was a character in Berseria and was mentioned in Zestiria due to the character in Berseria. All sorts of bits like that. You have Patty, who, you know, Ifrid. You have Chat from Eternia, who's a granddaughter of Ifrid. That sort of thing. So anyway, what I'm saying is we should, at some point, get pirated. By, like, a normal-ass boat, not like this thing. Anyway, let's save here. Just in case. And let's go. Alright, so we're gonna take this boat to the big boat. With, my god. Alright, so yeah, the run-ins have some fucking tech. I mean, we knew that. They have the giant rings. They have the... I mean, they effectively terraformed a good chunk of this planet. Of course they've got tech.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Thanks,
Of course
y'all.
we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile,
What's this
ship's
music?
carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
This music's like we didn't have right music for the scene, so we rolled at random.
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
What? Okay, is this gonna be split the party so we can talk to everyone once?
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat.
What is the... Okay,
Guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding up.
this makes sense. We're doing our split the party so you can talk to everybody individually bit. Yep, conversation pit. Let's talk to Rinwell first. I feel like that's important. She's the one who's supposed to be having a character moment.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cislodius Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadine. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right.
Alphen trying really hard to salvage this plot.
Killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away.
Alphen trying really hard to salvage this
Law
plot.
let revenge fuel him. And I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen.
First pain Elf will feel his shoulders getting sore from carrying the plot.
Back then, after the fight, I think I really made Xion mad. I don't know though, maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Xion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Alphen, you are trying so hard to carry that plot, huh? Like again, that's part of like how we could have had Law make sense in that position, but Law had not been portrayed in that way. You know, the Law feeling like he didn't get anything out of his revenge. Law feeling like, but like, anyway. Back to comedy music. Alright, I think we'll just go with talking to Xion last. Alright, are you seasick? Is we had to roll a dice, one of the party members had to be seasick, right? 100%.
You don't look so good. Are you alright?
The floor. It keeps moving.
Oh, now we're gonna skip instead of a
How can you
cutscene.
stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
Can you feel nausea?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human
Hunger?
lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim.
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Xion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression.
Okay, here's a
It'll
more
be hard for them to not
here's a
give in
more
to their
salient
resentment.
point. Thank you.
I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on,
This music
he and the
continues to
Darkwings
be
fought the Renans,
completely
he
off
eventually
for this
changed.
scene.
I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, Was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Miguel, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Xion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Alright. Hey, Dolly. So Hoodle didn't show up when I got on this boat, so I don't think there's a Hoodle on this boat. This is a tiny boat.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Dolly.
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though
Interesting.
I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved.
Okay, why have they laser beamed
They
us to
see what's been
death?
happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted
Right,
to
they
what
get to
she
be
did.
the ruler of Rena for like a decade or whatever. Right.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Remember when we summoned Ifrit and
Insofar as
busted
an
a
exchange of
wall?
swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
I remember when we summoned Ifrit to like bust down a wall. The one non-metaphorical wall. Alright. Looks like it's time to talk to Law, who, and then we talk to Shion to end it, because that'll be kind of the best here. Alright.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Now we're on the sea.
Somehow the sea is different, though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever.
Almost the wall is also a pretty clear metaphor. Sure, it's a real metaphorical wall.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Zephyr would have been in there punching. Alright. And this one gets to be a real cutscene as well. Makes sense.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almeidrea's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually manage to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon.
Something's
I
got...
never could have made it this far
God.
on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
I'm back to that
It's
music.
going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Mahavar.
After that scene with Shion. Alright, how far? Let's take a nap. Alright, I need to see how big the aircraft carrier is.
Look who's up. Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
Oh, it's...
The ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you?
It's like the city ship from
Think you'll be able
Lost
to fight them
Odyssey or
without getting
whatever.
spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Garden, yeah.
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Wiggle, wiggle. Stealth. Here we are. This is stealth. Why? How did stealth work? Perfect.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin.
Oh, you have a servant lady too? What's his name?
Hungry already, my dear?
Balzac had a servant lady just hanging around like her too.
Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Anyway, we got a big old dragon. Is that your DNA dragon? Dragon DNA?
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Yeah, okay.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
Alright, all treasure on this ship is a one-time excursion, so we need to find Hootle. Yeah, that dragon's got to be another chimera thing that Almeidrea created. Mobile Fortress Gradia. Zoogle. Dino DNA. Alright, members left the party return.
Shion, I want to thank you.
What brought this on?
What you said helped to calm me.
Don't mention it.
Alright, what's my party right now?
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahagsar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelzelik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Balzac.
could see it.
But what do you think Almeidrea plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect.
Yeah, but there's only one other lord.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous
Well, I mean,
one
I guess
indeed.
you're a lord, but...
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balsef when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought it was a goner.
Balsef's brute strength was in a league all its own, yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Danon in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Oh, that's a
Only he
monocle.
who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Pretty sure that one's a monocle. Yeah. But also, I can take off the mask if I want to. Or put on a cooler mask? Oh, I should swap back to copper armor. Wait a minute. Are you a giant hat? Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Hat. You can do some fun fashion. Alright. That's good treasure. That's a lamp. That's a normal lamp. Alright. What else we got here? We got some coffee. Maybe some tea, some books. Storage. 3 beds. Nope, I don't have an attack.
Gotta break through. Bring them down.
Alright, let's jump up and get him. Ooh, that felt good. Crunch.
I'll be saving.
Barely a blip on our radar.
Right, here goes. Bye. See you on there. You're finished. Win. Fall back. Mirage. Take down their defenses. Oh my lord. Knock them down. Try harder. Take this.
There we go.
Fire support. Mirage. It's almost too strong. Split it open. Be my guest. Severing wind. Mirage. Coming through. Ha! Now.
Playing stay after 13 will always do it. Yeah. 13, by the way, very good if you haven't been watching that. Highly recommend checking out the lightning return stuff.
I'm practically unstoppable.
Heat shell, that's good. Okay, we got barriers.
Got it.
No, can we just knock them down? Oh, wow. Alright, Renwell just eats the barriers.
That
Easy.
went well.
Easy.
Are you okay? You're not too tired, are you?
Nope, I'm fine. Let's keep moving.
I won't forgive you! Anything in armor is all
Never miss.
in a bind.
Take this.
These ones can run rings around us.
Searing gale.
By the power of do it.
Take river.
Oh, there we go.
Energy.
Say no more.
Here's a
Not
healing
a
arm.
chance. Damn it.
Let's too fast.
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
In here. Mega ray. More for
Take
the
this.
stockpile.
It's over. Severing wind.
Everyone hanging in there?
What is this?
Alright, getting paid. 2,850 gold is almost an orange gel. Tomato. Alright. Okay, there's treasure.
Out of our way!
Take this.
Yo.
Think that shield will save you? I'm ready! Fire support! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action.
This ends now!
Consider yourself.
Love these combo finishers.
Lightning orb. Hey, not my watch.
This one's all mine. My shield? I'm not done! Destruction!
Do it!
Hey! Blow them away!
Kick.
A comfortable win.
Okay. Whoa! Yo, 10,000 bucks.
Let's see what you got.
I guess we're not gonna be able to spend it here, but
I'm not done! Try harder!
Tell me, have you ever considered your purpose?
Hurricane Pass! Mirage! Severing Wind! Burn it down! No further! Destruction!
magic is out.
Burn strike! My turn! No escape! Bloody holiday!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Gotta break through! You got spirit! Double demon fang! Luna Storm! You're mine! You're finished! No! You're mine! I won't show you any mercy! Now you'll learn!
Here goes!
Destruction! Damn it! Take it! You're finished!
The enemy wields art too.
We'll soon see about that.
No escape! Crush!
You're
Win! Take it! This one's all mine!
None shall escape my
Severing Wind!
Begin!
Double demon fang! Strike!
Speak with darkness.
Blood.
None shall
Rending you
escape
apart.
my
Bloody
Come on, dog.
Double demon fang!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Well, found some beef.
discourteous.
Double demon fang!
Raging Luna Sword.
Eat dirt!
Can't get out of this.
Take this!
I'll have to take my revenge on you!
Double demon fang!
Armor won't save you.
Astral energy! Full throttle!
Gun.
Glacial spear! Raging lightning!
Benediction
I
light.
never miss!
Take this! You're finished!
I'll be made this one! Line astral energy!
We're not finished yet!
Lunar corruption! I'll be saving this one! The waters of the
You're
future!
mine! Severing Wind! Rising Falcon!
Elusive deity.
Double demon fang!
Annihilate astral energy!
Say no more.
Okay.
Don't get careless.
Whoa! I did not expect to turn the corner and have red armor, dude.
You picked the wrong fight! Resonate with you! Got you now! Take it!
Do it!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! None shall escape!
Strike! Double demon fang! You're mine!
I can handle it!
Crush!
Go!
Destruction!
Chinese Supernova!
Double demon fang!
Elusive deity.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Damn it.
Where are you going?
Severing Wind!
Will this help? The waters of
Can't get out of this! Take this!
tidal wave circle.
Begin! I owe you one. Try this!
There we go.
Hammer!
Hey, little quivering. I think we're about to be real lucky.
Never seen anything like it.
It's an authentication key. They're quite common.
Maybe where you're from, but this is new to me.
It might go in an elevator somewhere. We should test it out.
Okay, found an orange. Keep an eye out for Hoodle. Okay. What is this? Okay. So this one's optional. Let's take it.
A little help. Glacial spear. Here's the evil. Sharpness.
I owe you one.
Not on my watch.
Y'all stop casting, please.
Black astral energy to duel the earth. Sleep now.
Pesky airborne scoundrel.
Sounds like a job for yours truly. Magic is on.
Astral arts?
That's my cue.
Shut him down.
Resonate with the earth.
Armor won't save you.
Alright.
Nicely done.
Oh!
Let's dispose of the trap.
Now you'll learn. You're mine.
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno.
Will this help?
Double Demon Fang. Try harder. Not a chance. I'm not done. Severing Wind. I owe you one. Do you require
Light astral energy raging cascade. Into the shadow. Lightning. Downfall. Lightning super
You're mine. Burn in hell.
Double
Demon Fang.
by the power of water.
You're mine.
No
dawn shall break this night.
Not on my watch.
I'm not done.
Light ash raging
Double
cascade.
Demon Fang.
Ready for activity. Cover Gemini Aqua.
Here
Sleep now.
I come.
I'll fix you up.
Can't get out of this.
Sleep now.
Oh, Rinwell. Unusual.
What in the world? I'm all right. I'm still safe. This should do it. Double Demon Fang. Out of the way. Double Demon Fang.
Purge malevolence.
Can you take it?
Waterfall.
No escape. Burn. Take this.
By the power of water.
No escape.
Raging storm.
Hurricane Force. Know thy mystic nerve.
There's guts.
Take this. You're finished. I have no limit. Here I come. Coming through. Ha!
Okay.
Scarlet Inferno. Take this.
Lightning contaminated.
See what I can do.
Thunderblade.
I can't take much more.
Denied! Here I come!
Dance in the wind!
Take this!
I'll be saving you! Hear me!
Take this!
In here! I'll be here! I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Easter!
Thunderblade! But I'll end this with my own hands! More with that more! I never miss!
Destruction!
Lightning orb!
Juggling wind!
Dance in the wind!
Double demon fang!
Melee lightning gale! Carry the drag! Back into the fray!
Wind!
Another incantation ruined.
Into the shadow!
Destruction!
I'm ready! Denial! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There we go. Hey, Bernard. We're on a giant destroyer.
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Like, just huge. The thing is like 5 floors. Like... Okay. Alright, those look like Rinwell equips. Yeah, like, and not just like boat, like sort of big, like just huge. Like, here's a little side view of boat. All right, let's do it.
An opponent like this should be easy. Wind! Mirage!
Nothing gets
Double demon fang!
Your reflexes will not serve you well.
Demon fang! In an instant! Impact block! Not a chance!
Resonate with the leave the ensnaring to me.
Destruction! You're finished! Mirage!
Give it a whirl! Raging cascade!
Luke Celestra. Yeah, new Luke, huh?
Double demon fang!
Radiant peel! More for the stockpile!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go. These don't seem like your run-of-the-mill Zoogles the Renans usually keep around.
Indeed. I believe it's safe to assume these were used in her experiments.
They certainly look as twisted as her.
Even here.
Look at this gremlin. And then- well, I'm sorry, is that a Heartless? Hold the hell on. This one's a goddamn Heartless. Alright, dude, whatever.
This is...
I remember seeing instruments just like this back in Estaluva Forest.
It looks and smells like some kind of medicine.
Whatever this place was used for, I doubt it was anything of repute.
Alright, let's beat him up.
Discourteous, aren't you?
I see one, eh? I owe you one. It's over!
Let me help!
Double demon fang!
Raging cascade!
You're mine!
I'm the true gunslinger around here!
Forward! Hurricane throw! Look out, flyers!
I've got this! Let him marksman handle it!
All yours!
None shall escape!
You're mine!
Let's do it!
Get it back, will ya? It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest. Win!
Sleep now! Here's a
Searing
hand!
gale! Negative gale! Coming through!
I'm at what health?
Now!
Oh, I'm doing 1,000,000 damage though.
An inferno!
Here, let me help!
Double demon fang!
Raging cascade!
Double demon fang!
Sleep now! Let him do it!
Double demon fang!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! All
Destruction!
lightning! The enemy is on you! We'll soon see about that!
Any more of this and I'll burn out!
Alright, I ran out of crushing.
Negative take this! Mirage!
I never miss. Do it.
There we go. That's a ton of health we save.
I've used a bit too much healing.
Oh, we're at 47. Okay. Okay, that gets us to floor 2 of 4. So we're on floor 0 and floor 1. We got 2, 3, and 4 left. Happy bottle. Still haven't used one of these. Well. What's it do? Alright.
Do you sense
Hoodle.
one of your friends, Hoodle?
Alright, Hoodle alarms. Whoa, what the fuck?
A barrier. That may indicate Almeidrea is near.
Then we've got to find a way to get through somehow.
Let's see if we can find something that...
Oh fuck, cutscene after cutscene. Alright, I see the
What
danger.
is that huge flower-looking thing up there? Is that the ship's engine?
Indubitably. As one might expect, large ships require large engines in order to sail.
And if we destroyed it?
We might well sink the ship. Who knows if we would be able to escape before that happens.
Almeidrea sure has been busy since the contest began.
This isn't Almeidrea's doing.
You mean she didn't build this?
The body, yes. However, my guess is that the engine comes from a starship.
Oh.
A
Sure.
starship? As in one of those vessels used to go to and from Lenegus?
Sure.
Correct. The technology employed on Lenegus and in starships is more advanced than anything in our daily lives. Almeidrea may be resourceful, but she could never produce an engine like this on her own.
It's got a statue on
Tell
it.
me we've got even bigger enemies waiting for us up in the sky? Ugh, my head hurts just thinking about it.
Don't worry about that for now. Just focus on taking care of Almeidrea.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
Kick her ass.
Don't get careless.
You really think casting on one is what you want to do against Renal?
In an instant! Impact block!
Radiant
Double
Pierce!
demon fang!
Lightning orb!
Okay.
With this, I can become even...
I only have 4 orange shells? Ugh.
good for you. I see one, eh? Not today!
You'll pay for what you did!
Now you'll learn! You got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Take this! All yours! It's go time! Elusive deity!
Everlasting darkness! Vanquish darkness! Where are you going?
Negative gate! It's almost resonate with the
Split it open!
Be my guest! My shield! You're finished! Take this! We're not finished!
Do it!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'm gonna need to really hold back on using
Healing arts take their toll on the user, you know.
orange shell here.
Wanna rest? Coming through! Eat this! I've used too much. Try harder! Tornado drive! Tornado drive! Severing wind! You're on! It's over! On your knees! The abyssal beast! Too fast! Stand back! I'll trip it up! Now! You're mine! We're not finished! On the way! Try harder!
I'm out!
Okay, we're doing a good job of just not using healing, if I can avoid it.
I'll grind you into dust! You're mine! It's over! Destruction! Coming through!
31 hit combo, holy shit.
Scarlet Inferno! Double Demon Fang! Crescent Slash! Take this! Burn it down! Why you? Take this! It's over! Crescent Slash! In a bind? I'll take you right back! On your knees!
Not on my watch! Where are you going? Please do it!
There we go.
Instant! Impact Block!
Yeah, maybe on the first floor there's a spot we can
Used a bit
heal
too
up.
much healing.
Okay, barrier's down. We're still looking for a Hoodle. Where?
Little help!
Double Demon Fang! For my lord! And more of this and I'll burn out!
Mega Ray!
You're mine!
Radiant Ray!
You're finished! Out of the way! Captivity!
Now you see what I can do.
Destruction! Double Demon Fang! Burn in hell! Take this!
Far enough! I'm out of arrows!
Destruction! We're not finished! Destruction! Destruction! You're mine! It's over! Here I come! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds.
Oh, located.
You're saying we should check the Owl Forest?
Ooh. Wait, can I teleport right now? What? Hmm. Goodbye.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
This is more important than... Yeah, better than being locked in for freshness, indeed. What's up? Oh god, I forgot about the wiggly one. There's only 5 on this perch? Wow. Look at it. This perch started and there's 9 owls. 10 owls. And then there's 6, 5. Anyway, let's get some new stuff. I love this owl. Night Guard's armor. Aquatic Guard's armor. Oh, is that finally our, Alright. Our color palette swap. That's good. I like these. Those look sweet. Let's go with the black armor with the shield, the cat shield. Go with the blue for later. Actually, I guess we're doing an aquatic invasion. Alright, so then... I'm just gonna teleport to the inn and use... Caneris.
We've reached our destination.
Alright, I thought this was the Columbo Ladio, it is not. We don't have a Dragon Flame sack. We'll get that from the boss, I'm sure.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Alright, we're gonna be over busy for the boss, because I want to have, like, a ton of gels. Dolium strikes me as more of a Matlock than Columbo. Yeah, I can agree with that.
You can never be too prepared.
Alright, and let's go...
This shall suffice. Please, everyone, have as much as you like.
Hey, you're pretty good at cooking, Dodo.
That's for sure. And rather surprising. I never thought a Renin Lord would know how to fix anything on their own.
You flatter me. This dish is nothing special.
I don't know. I'd say this was pretty good.
Yeah. If we ever get back to Calaglia, I'd love the chance to share this with everybody.
All I did was simply cut some ingredients and let them simmer inside the pot. Most anyone could prepare this recipe.
That's simple, huh? Just throw them in and simmer?
You might be misleading him a bit, making it sound so easy.
I'm certainly not exaggerating it.
If all it takes is putting ingredients in water, I can handle that. I'll have to try it soon.
Huh? I think it might be better if you didn't, Alphen.
Hmm? Why not?
And if he did, you'd be obligated to eat it.
Don't worry, I'll heal you afterwards.
I don't know whether to feel more sorry for Alphen when nobody believes in him, or myself knowing what's in store for me once I eat his concoction.
I believe in him. Alright, well,
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
alright, okay. Anyway, stealth 2.
Stay sharp. We're going in.
What's up? Hey, y'all. Oh, hell. Yeah, alright, whatever.
No further! Severing wing! This one's all mine!
You'll soon see about that! Raging one's mine! Now, Long, get toasty!
Burn strike! It's almost too strong. It'll split it open! Be my guest!
Okay, that's another down.
Consider yourself finished! My turn!
Ever so slightly immersion breaking, but look, I want to have orange shells and not like have a fight that kicks my ass.
Commander of Heaven!
I mean, the fight's still gonna kick my ass, but I want to have the resources for it.
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Also, I already have the level 2 key, so we can skip most of this.
What is this?
$300. Hey, you two.
Retreat if you know what's good for you! Bring him down! Denied! In a bind! No escape!
Ooh.
Its armor's too strong! Be my guest! I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
That one's very good.
Here goes! Ice Tornado!
Looks like we got them all.
Okay, this room should have some treasure. There's a couple rooms we didn't grab the treasure out of, so we're gonna do it there. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
They really don't give up, do they?
Now you'll see what I can do! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Perfect.
Double demon!
I just deleted them.
This one's mine! Raging Cascade!
You're mine! You're finished!
Ready to go!
Not today!
Take it!
Here I come!
Elusive deity! On my watch!
Crush!
Rotating pile
Destruction! Crush!
Raging storm!
I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Double demon back!
There's like a door to hell over there for a little while.
I'm practically unstoppable.
Okay, this should be the last one.
Out of our way!
Can't get out of this! You're mine! What? Destruction! On your knees. Totally! In an instant! Impact block! Double demon fang!
Oh, there's the dog.
Do back! Stand back. I'll trip it up. Double demon fang! I'm ready!
Don't get complacent.
So we have the Hoodle. Now, what do we got in the door that we had to pay for? Natural vest.
Thus our strength yet.
Wow, plus 70. I have not given you an upgrade in a while, have I? Alright. Mini Chaos Dunk. Alright. Sure. Another one of these Creepzillas. That's annoying.
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
I'm ready!
This one's got your name on it!
Ash to ash!
Here,
Monster!
lightning condensed!
Thrust!
First aid! Cover the capture!
Destruction!
Traumatize you!
Elusive deity!
We
Blended flash! Coming through!
I didn't mean to burn my health like that, but sure.
Scarlet Inferno!
Will this help?
Double demon fang! Stop my
Healing
Come
field!
boil me!
In here!
Double demon fang!
I'll be saving this one!
Destruction! Not today!
Arts are being interrupted. Can't get out of this.
Destruction!
Gale Force! Radiant
Regenerate.
I'll show you just
Incantation
how
ruined.
strong my arts really are!
Double shattering pieces!
Make the abyssal deep.
Double demon fang!
Show our mystic mercy.
Here I come!
Multiply.
Double demon fang! Here I come!
Raging lunar storm.
Destruction!
Make the abyssal
You won't make a fool of me!
I'm all stuffed up! Annihilation!
raging lunar storm.
There we go, finally.
Consider yourself finished!
So that means the Armorer's down. Now we just have the Poisoner.
Raging
This
lunar
one's
storm.
mine!
Double demon fang!
Permanent Ranger! Lightning! Downfall! Hell Squall! Freezing Storm!
Destruction!
Negative gate. Behold.
Oh shit.
The earth pulse. Tectonic vision.
Alright. Nice. I don't think we've seen that one before.
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop!
Force of regeneration.
Destruction!
Just the Earth Pulse is here to kick your ass.
Win! Eat dirt! Double demon fang!
Armor will save you.
Severing wind! Mirage! Try this! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Yeah, that should be it.
Double Demon Fang! I owe you one. Double Demon Fang!
Adversity is said to be the best motivation.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
Shut him! Down. Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclops!
Okay.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Now we got a combo, but I can't really use it on anything. It doesn't look like there's a fight. Elixir. Okay, so this should be key for floor 3. And then there's only one floor left, and that's floor 4, and that'll be like the boss. So... Pineapple gel. Ooh, that's like orange, but way better. Rice. Peach shell. Alright. So let's open up this door. Oh.
She sure spared no expense on her castle.
This must be...
The captain's quarters. The presence of the spirit vessel and the sheer extravagance on display can leave no doubt.
Look at that big couch.
There's no one here.
Yeah, but I doubt she's out for a moonlight stroll. You think she jumped ship and ran away again?
I doubt it. The conniving witch is probably up to something.
Agreed.
I mean, we have orb.
In any case, as long as she hasn't suddenly sprouted wings, she has to be somewhere on
You
the
know
ship.
she's the wind one,
Let's
right?
keep looking.
She could do that.
The way this key's been placed, it's like she's daring us to come find her.
Yeah.
Like it's all some damn game to her.
What's wrong, sweetie? Is something scaring you?
Maybe he just doesn't like being in her room.
I think there's more to it than that. What could it be?
Is there an anti-hoodle? Well, we got the hoodle on board. All right, we get an ambush on the way out. Okay. All right, then. Here we go to 4 first. Miguel deceased.
Is this the ship's cargo? What a pain. I can't see anything past all this stuff.
Be on your guard. For all we know, there could be something hiding around here.
What is this?
Coming through.
I never miss.
Raging Luna Sword. Those I missed the game.
Shall escape your judgment.
Here I come. I can carve through armor. My shield. I'm ready.
Long, get toasty.
Bird strike.
Malevolence, here's
Locked and loaded. Try harder. Here I go.
Freeze land. Dance in the wind.
No none shall break this night. You're mine.
Do it.
You're finished. Remember.
Astral energy.
Say no more.
Alright.
You're mine.
We haven't got new titles in a while.
Now.
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Now, speaking of. Nice. 50s.
Let's dispose of this trash.
Now or never. No further.
Glacial spear. Pierce, I'll shoot them out of the sky. Arcane waterfall. Go for the here.
Was that just explosion? Like,
Take this. You picked the wrong fight. Bloody howling. Destruction. Crush. Stalagmite. Destruction.
Raging storm.
Bloody howling. You're mine. You're finished. Destruction. I'll smash you. You're mine.
Glacial spear. Pierce evil. Lightning ready.
It's wide open. It won't escape me.
Radiant lightning. Purge the I'm out of ammo. Arcane waterfall.
Elusive
Ghost in the wind. Air
over. Double demon fang.
we gotta put damage on this thing really quick, though.
Glacial spear. Pierce evil. Where are you going?
You're finished. Raging Luna Sword.
Watch and
Burn in hell.
annihilation. Radiant look.
Try harder. Not a chance. My turn.
You all. Purge malevolence.
Destruction.
Healing.
Can't get out of this. I'm grateful.
Lancer.
Destruction.
Dance in the wind. Air thrust. Freezing storm.
Tornado drive. Captivity.
Lightning orb. Photon. Raging cascade.
Double demon fang. Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno.
Dire instant. Lightning orb.
That went pretty smoothly. Obviously not a boss, but you know, feels good.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Alright, now we can go to floor 3.
Did that get rid of the barrier?
We'll just have to go back and check.
Barrier. Yeah, we can go make that weapon now if I really wanted. Alright, yeah, alright. One moment, I'll be back in just a second here and then we'll go do this. Alright, as I said, just a second. So, clearly have the boss.
If Almeidrea's not in her own room, just where the hell is she?
It's possible she may be on the bridge, but I would guess that she's waiting for us elsewhere on the ship.
Which means she's most likely chosen a place where she'll have the advantage in a fight.
Be careful, guys. I came from an entire family of Danon mages, and that woman murdered all of them. All on her own. I hate to say it, but she's an incredibly powerful astral artist.
We already know she specializes in controlling wind astral energy. But on top of that, she might try to sick that monster on us again, too.
Right. To that woman, life itself is just a toy for her to play with. Let's make sure we put an end to it.
Mysterious power.
Well, we've only one last place to look. Straight ahead.
Almeidrea.
Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. Then again, the game gives us the, like, are you ready? I think we're set.
There she is! Almeidrea!
But all alone? Watch yourselves. She's probably planning something.
I was getting rather tired of waiting around. Oh my, and I see you came along as well, Danon Witch.
Almeidrea.
What's this? I thought you couldn't stand the sight of me. Go on, little one. Show me the full force of that hatred of yours. Otherwise, run and hide like a rat you are.
That's enough! How can you smile while causing pain to so many others?
That is the way of those who possess great power. The very way we Renans live by. Those with power set the example, and those without are forced to obey.
It's like a half an outfit.
Though you two seem to have forgotten that's the way these things work.
And you really think that justifies your actions? You turned all those people into a hollowed sea!
What foolishness. It's only natural that the fate of a slave differ from that of its owner. Very well, I admit I did fan the flames just a tad back in Mies. But it wouldn't have mattered in the slightest if there hadn't been a spark to ignite. Without it, my actions would have been fruitless. Ultimately, it was their very own burning hatred that laid them to waste. To say it was all my fault is simply laying blame at the wrong feet.
no one's perfect. We all have darkness in our hearts. But the atrocities that you've committed, they're unthinkable! Your heart is nothing but darkness!
What a fool. To think time and time again you would challenge Renan authority without so much as an inkling of how things actually work. Such ignorance is why your kind has been enslaved for 300 years.
You know we've killed
Almeidrea.
2 lords already.
Well, if it isn't Lord Dohalim.
These people are my allies and friends. I won't let you insult them so.
My, what a shock. I never would have expected you to claim mere slaves as your companions. If I didn't know any better, I would question your noble lineage. Oh, how far the mighty have fallen. A traitor such as yourself hardly deserves to be called a lord.
You are nothing compared to Dohalim.
Rinwell.
He would never stand by and laugh. His people hollowed!
Ha! What does it matter? You're descended from those who allowed the power and knowledge entrusted to them to wither away. Your pitiful family may have feared it, but I do not. That knowledge and power is all mine to command.
The power of the sun?
And now, you will witness what that power's truly capable of. Nesmold!
What's up? Hey, dude! What a happy-looking dragon.
Enjoy your meal!
Okay, we're gonna nameless it. That's fine. Lord Almeidrea and Mesbald.
Such sad eyes, child. Let me reunite you with your parents.
Shut up! I'm gonna take you down if it's the very last thing I do!
That's right.
Hold on, I can...
Loathe me. Every step brings you closer to being me.
You're wrong! I'm nothing like you!
Armor won't save you!
Ready, Supernova! This one's mine!
Severing wing! I'll grind you into dust! Severing wing! There! Elusive deity! Turbo demon fang! Severing wing! I'll make you...
No, you're not casting. Yeah, the killer here is that there's 2 enemies and Almeidrea can just cast endlessly from up top.
Anything in armor is all mine!
Here, let me help. First aid!
Memes.
Not on my watch!
Shine! In a bind! Destruction! Don't suffer in silence! Demon Fang! Try harder! Now! Here I come! You're mine!
Freezing storm!
Never see what I can do! Strike!
Denied!
It's over! Try harder! Not a chance! This one's all mine! You're finished! Severing wing!
Oh, that was a health bar. What are you casting?
Doing now? She's infusing her beast with more power!
Get ready!
Wind! Ignite!
What the fuck is happening? I love that Hurricane Thrust is the only way I know how to hit this enemy. Okay, you got the cast, just run. Oh, I'm playing against death. Anytime you want to stop. Ooh, there's a weak point on the tail.
In a bind. Stay away. Here I come. It's over. Hurricane thrust. Not on my watch. Hurricane thrust. A freezing storm. Hurricane thrust. On mine. Try harder.
Dolim.
Do it. Kisara. All yours, Kisara.
Yes. That's half.
Separately. I can't land a hit on her.
Keep an eye on her. And take out the monster first.
Oh shit. Oh, she split.
She's no stranger.
Oh fuck.
I can take care of that.
We have 2 enemies now. That's okay. She's immune to just casting in the center though. Okay. I understand what's going on here. Damn. I guess that makes sense with the first part of this fight being a little easier than I felt like it should have been, right? Oh, help.
The abyssal deep.
Wits about you, people.
In a bind.
Oh, fuck.
Judgment blow your way.
I had.
Natural defenses of fate. I'm a sitting duck. Retreat from this battle.
Retreat? I would never.
You'll pay for that.
God. We need to kill the dragon, and then we're. If we can kill the dragon, things will get a lot easier, right? No. Interrupt. Shion a 1. Let's heal Shion. Oh shit, that's gonna kill me. I killed Shion too.
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Okay, pick me up first, please.
Not done yet. It's in your hands now.
Okay, hold on. I've got to. Oh, we have no healing arts.
This should do it.
Can we get this going?
No further. Double demon far enough. I'll smash you. Try harder. This one's all mine. Not too much. This should do it. Here I come. Burn. Take this.
Not on my watch. Bronze and red. Dance in the wind. Power of air.
Double demon fang.
I never miss.
Behold, my rising power.
Her master core.
Not while I'm around, she isn't.
Tear. Hurricane thrust.
Raging storm.
Here I come. Raging Luna storm.
Celestial. I'll never forgive you.
What?
I'll take you down.
Oh! Good.
I'll end you. Astral energy.
Say no more.
Is that good?
You murdered my mother and father. But I'm not like you. Even now, I hate you. But here I am, unable to let go. Honestly, even if I took my hatred out on you here and now, it wouldn't make me feel any better in the long run. I realize that now. So, I won't kill you.
I'll let Shion do it.
I'll take you in and make damn sure justice is served the right way.
Do we have cops? We don't have
Dare
cops.
mock me with your foolish, useless pity. A Danon, nothing more than a mere slave. I won't allow you to.
It's not about what you think. Or being Danon or Renan. Because you'll atone for the crimes you committed. And that's all.
What? All right, we're out on the ocean. Fifth Lord's water.
It's that swordsman again.
Oh, cool. Is he just gonna kill her and then we're gonna get the moral, like, it taken out of our hands? Of course we are. That's, I think everybody said this is gonna happen.
Lord Vholran, what brings you here? No, forgive me. I've forgotten myself. Please allow me to make it up to you, my lord.
Yeah, okay.
Silence now, wretched snake. Does it hurt? It should. That pain is proof you're still alive. Enjoy it.
Vholran. Years ago, the Lord of Ganeth Haros met a sudden death. His successor was a man by that very name, Vholran.
And like a restless lover, I've come back for more.
What? Oh, God. He's the most anime dude.
Stop right there!
Think you can cut me down? What?
What the fuck? Oh. My powerful eye. I can see the cosmos. What is happening?
Wait, what just happened to him? Alphen! Say something!
Oh, anime. Oh, damn.
Let go of me! Let me go!
Xion!
Alphen!
What?
Xion!
Alphen!
Oh. It's a good thing we didn't grab that sword that's on fire on our back, I suppose, but... Oh. Did he, like, steal our power?
Come and find me. If you truly are the Sovereign.
What? Wait, were we the old king? Oh, rip. Into the hole, everybody. Good night. We fell in a hole. What? Okay, so, like, Sovereign, are we, like, a past king, then? Renin male lab work. Oh, boy. Spirit channel. Oh, boy. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Are we a clone of a sovereign?
After all this time, I'll be free from this hell. I can finally go home.
What do we do?
I doubt I'll ever see this place again. Might as well walk the block once more for old time's sake.
Oh boy, are we actually getting all the space stuff? So we got real Star Ocean vibes here? Hell yeah. Alright, now we're in space. This is obviously Renin tech. Are we Renin? Astral energy charging almost complete. Output stable. Sure. What do I have for a menu right now? Nothing. I can't save. I can't do anything. You're the supposed to talk to, so I do anything but. Oh, I am a Danon. Oh, huh? Okay. Weird. I'm trying very hard to piece together what the game's got for me. Well, I'm sure we will, but you know. Yep. Danons can't go past there. That's fine. About into the test chamber? Test subject 1273. Alright, so we're one of a million test subject people. Ceremony? Sure. So this must be... We're in space, and, like, Danons, or the Renins are using, like, astral energy for some sort of ritual? So, like, is that what happened last year? What sort of ritual happened last year? Okay. The Maiden? Is this like where we're gonna, like, do we know Shion? I'm just talking through my thought process so that it you know, because that's just what's coming to mind here. Okay, we are a sovereign. What does that mean? A Danon sovereign? And like, because the only time we've heard sovereign at all in the game before, to my knowledge, is in regards to the winner of the crown contest becomes the sovereign of Rena. So, but, like, perhaps that's not, maybe, maybe that doesn't mean the same sovereign? Okay. They're indistinguishable. Yeah. The depersonalizing bit makes sense as far as a test subject thing, right? This is... I'm getting very Star Ocean here. I knew we were gonna get... like, space stuff, because we've talked about spaceships a lot, but I haven't been really internally prepared for it. Okay, so that doesn't matter for being a sovereign. Could be anyone. That's cool. I don't know what that means still. Yo, only I have the brains to... That's extreme brains. Falling apart. Okay. Oh, like... Is that why we are like... Okay, the harvester we deployed on Tana is functioning as intended. It's gathering astral energy and transmitting to letting us. Sure. Spending long days keeping close eye on things. Okay. Okay. Bites the dust. I'm starting to wonder by that comment about deploying the harvester when we are as well. The arc from SA2. Shit, that is the arc from SA2. Like, yeah. Like that's the space colony arc. That's the cannon right there. Are they gonna blow up? Is this what Lenegus looks like? Is Lenegus the space colony arc? If so, can it blow up the moon? Oh, look at our like movement thing. You know, we're gonna like mess with our no music here.
As usual, nobody wants to explain anything to me. They just threaten and harass me instead. What does everyone think I am? Some sort of talking pet? They're the ones that dragged me all the way up here in the first place. Bastards. I shouldn't have bothered coming out. Might as well head back to my room.
Yeah, like, I think, like, they're gonna put the astral energy into us, and then we're gonna do, like, a ritual thing, and then something's gonna happen. But I don't know what. Well, let's head back. Okay. As if she has a big poofy dress on. Is this a different character? I mean, we don't have a name, so...
I just wanted to go back.
Alright, give me an anime.
To Dana. To my home.
Alright, rituals.
Alphen.
Leori.
Was that the plan?
Alphen. Live for me.
What?
No. Leori. No!
Oh yeah, the ritual might have been a darkness light thing.
Wait, please.
Sure.
Wait, What was that? That... How long ago was that?
Yeah, I want to know when that was. Was that a year ago? Was that...
That's right. Shion.
More than a year ago? I feel like more, but I don't know how much more. Also, he can feel pain, it seems, right? Yeah, he must have had that ability, like, stolen.
Oh, right. That's what pain felt like.
Don't grab the fire sword until you have a really cool moment.
So much for it all being a bad dream.
You need to have, like, a moment of, like, extreme will to grab the fire sword. It's the only time. It'd be really cool, though. You know?
Where am I? Where is everyone?
Oh, right. Shion's not here. We don't have the sword. Right. That also... Anyway, okay, so we'll get the sword back, and then we'll have the cool moment. Makes sense. Alright, so I've lost that
I
part.
need to find them. Better start looking.
But yeah, I wonder if, what's his name? Shit, they said his name a couple times. The dude who assassinated the old lord and just became the lord. Seems like what had happened specifically. Alright, Master Core of the Wind. Vholran. Sure. Okay. But yeah, like, it seems like from what it seems like, he stole our ability to be immune to pain when he broke her mask. Because he was just grabbing Shion. Or he just has that naturally. It could be that too. He's just that much of a cool badass, you know? Right? Anybody else out here?
Niori. Shion.
Yeah, well, another numbered test subject. He seemed to be able to summon his own.
Damn it.
Oh, hi. Hey, dudes. It's been a while since I've been in a fight alone. Yeah, I don't have my weapon, so I can't do the cool move. We're doing okay damage, and this is like pretty easy to dodge. Like, if I really need to, I can back off and just double Demon Fang a bunch.
Double Demon Fang! This one's all mine! Eat dirt! Double Demon Fang! Destruction! Double Demon Fang! Crush! Destruction! Strike! Take this!
You know, I never noticed the ding, 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 ding as my things went up, you know? Battles have been so loud and full of things.
Destruction! Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Crush! Crush! Destruction! Win! We did it! My turn! This one's all mine! Mirage! Eat dirt! You're mine! It's over! Crush! Destruction! Crush! Destruction! Double Demon Fang! I'm not done!
Alright.
Destruction!
Yeah, I still know how to fight. That's good. Just never felt pain.
Alphen?
Oh, hey.
Rinwell!
What happened just now? Normally you'd be able to take that thing with your eyes closed.
Thank goodness you're
We
alive.
don't have the cool eyeball.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
I'm just glad we found you in one piece. You were the only one still missing. There's a village back the way we came from, Thistleim. Kisara and La are already there.
Are we in Water Kingdom?
Rinwell, where are we?
Ganith Heros,
Okay.
Vholran's realm. Remember?
Hey, Vholran.
Ushered by the waves straight to the enemy stronghold. A rare stroke of luck, it would seem.
Luck?
If Vholran's here, that means Shion's close too, right?
Shion? Oh. Right. Of course.
Are you sure you're feeling okay? You seem a little off.
He's probably just exhausted. Let's save the catching up for when we're back at the village.
Screams out in pain every step. Hey, Renwall. Hey, Dolium. Retired Avenger. Yo, just give me Holy Lance? Sure.
You sense one of your pals, Hoodle?
This area looks like it's from Berseria. This area looks like the village you went to meet Grimoire. And then you met the small child with the really, really high-pitched voice. You know? It looks like that area. Fighting Dumpus. You. Owl, please. Owl, please.
Speaking of Thistleum, it's populated by Danans, but they're not under the rule of any lord. Pretty refreshing, huh? The whole town was built by Danan defectors, escapees from elsewhere.
Oh, that's neat.
This area's teeming with stray Zoogles, though, so heaven only knows how they managed to set up a community here. The ordeal seems to have left them understandably on edge. Kisara and La are back there right now, trying to convince them of our good intentions. Say, Alphen, it looks like you got your face back then.
Yeah. And your sense of pain, too, it would seem. Any connection?
Really? Oh, but that means...
Probably.
I wonder if Alphen's going to be okay.
For now, I believe we should hold off on speculation and simply keep an eye on him.
Right.
Please. Please. Please, game, please. You can't do this to me, please. Please. What did I do to deserve this? No. Well, there we go. Okay. There we go. We had to have the angle perfect.
We spotted one of Poodle's friends.
All right, now we can double eye patch somebody. Oh, look, our character screen. Fruit of Helgen, sure. Alright.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
There's more owls in this area. There's a cow in this area.
Alphen! Boy, am I glad to see you safe.
Well, did you manage to convince them we're not in league with any lord?
Yeah, eventually.
When the ship sank, I thought we were done for. Guess the world just couldn't keep us apart.
Yeah, and now we can finally go rescue Shion.
There's something I need to tell you guys first.
Alright. We're gonna get some... I gotta tell you all my memories stuff.
I got my memory back.
So, what did you remember? Are you able to tell us now?
Give the man some space, Law.
I remember being up on Lenegis.
What are you sitting on?
Go on.
Oh, there
I
it
was
is.
abducted from Dano. I was told if I ever wanted to return home, I'd have to cooperate. So that's what I did. Next thing I knew, they had made me into the Sovereign.
You mean to say you won the crown contest?
Okay.
As a Danon?
That's the Sovereign they mean. No.
They kept me locked in a strange facility. They experimented on me, like I was nothing more than an animal. There were others, but only I survived. Of course, I wasn't really a king. The reality was that they treated me worse even than the lowest slave. The only reason I survived was because my body was able to withstand the Sovereign's power that they placed inside me.
The crest that appeared behind you on Almeidrea's ship must have undoubtedly been that of the Sovereign. It all makes sense now. Your affinity with the Blazing Sword, and the strange powers you possess, they were all because you were the Sovereign.
Okay, but why would the Renans go out of their way to give you
This is
all
the
that
Divine
power?
Child
Just what exactly does being the Sovereign entail?
Oh no.
They said it was for something called the Spirit Channeling Ceremony. They taught me how to harness my power for when the big day came.
Spirit channeling. You mean like Ifrit? Or like...
As for what the ceremony was actually for, unfortunately, I never found out.
We summoned Ifrit once.
So if what you're saying about being on Lenegis is true, then maybe you really did meet Shion. After all, you said you recognized her from somewhere, right?
But Shion said she'd never seen him before. How do you explain that?
I was wrong. It wasn't Shion I knew from Lenegis. It was Naori. She was a Renan maiden they paired me with during the spirit channeling ceremony. She's the woman I kept seeing in my dreams.
A maiden? What?
Wait, so this Naori figure just happens to be the double of Shion? Bit coincidental, isn't it?
Naori's family name was Imeris.
Imeris? As in Shion Imeris?
So they're distant relatives or something? Wait, or are they sisters?
Your guess is as good as mine. All I know is it was Naori. She's the one who put the mask on me.
Twins? Yes, twins.
The mask? But why?
To keep my soul from devouring itself over the guilt. After
Oh yeah, you blew up a town. You know.
After what I did on Lenegis. Over the lives I took.
Lives? You mean you staged a rebellion?
Perhaps it was a part of this spirit channeling ceremony?
I don't know. Whatever it was that the spirit channeling ceremony was supposed to achieve, it didn't turn out as planned. I lost consciousness halfway through. By the time I came to, Lenegis was a sea of flames. I opened my eyes to see Naori there, weeping.
Well, I guess they chose correctly to do whatever the hell ritual was in space instead of, like, on the planet, right?
I shudder to think of how many deaths I caused that day. Certainly more than any of these lords can claim, I'm sure.
You really expect us to believe this? First the Sovereign, then Lenegis? You couldn't possibly have done all that.
It couldn't have been in the last
I wonder.
while, because, like,
In
Dolim
ancient
would
scripture,
know.
There is tell of a terrible calamity that befell Lenegis, nearly destroying it. The restoration took years and required the work of countless laborers.
Right, because,
By
like...
ancient, you mean...
It predates the crown contest, to a time before even the first Renan invasion of Dana. More than 300 years ago.
300? But that'd make Alphen...
Okay. Alphen just...
That's right. I'm pretty much antique of a human being. Deep down, maybe I already knew.
Alphen...
Some hero, huh? Cooperating with the same villains who snatched me from my home, committing mass slaughter, only for it to slip my mind. Then, when I finally remember, turns out I'm so old I've got scripture written about me.
Oh, God.
So much for standing up to injustice. I've probably got more blood on my hands than all the lords combined!
Alphen, stop! Honestly, I'm not going to pretend to understand what all this means. But what I do know is that right now, you're just reacting to the shock.
Kisara.
Listen, what you really need is time. Time to process things and get your head straight. Truth be told, I think that probably goes for all of us.
What about Shion? We can't just...
I'm worried about Shion too, Law. But it's clear that Alphen's in no fit state to fight. This is Vholran, remember? Even at full capacity, it's practically a suicide mission. We stay put in the village till we're ready. Okay, everyone? Take some time to think things through, okay? But remember, we're all here for you if you need us. No matter how dark things might seem, you're not alone, Alphen.
So we've got an interesting number of, like, big twists here. Twists and turns.
All right, everyone.
Alphen's memories, the Fifth Lord, whatnot. None of it really changes our goal, though. Like, at all. Like, we have a lot of, like, stuff has occurred, right? You know, we have Alphen has his memory back. Alphen's fucking 330 years old from ancient times. He may have performed a ritual that blew up a city. Unknown circumstances. But, like, that information doesn't change what we're doing, right? We're still trying to kill the Fifth Lord. I mean, saving Shion is part of killing the Fifth Lord now. Those are just tied goals. And then we kill the Fifth Lord, and we go ahead and get rid of the Thorns. Alphen can feel pain, which kind of hurts the goal of use the Fire Sword to kill the Lords. Yes, but like I said, that just means we get to have the one scene where he, like, decides to fight through the pain. You know? Like, because obviously, like, when he first touched Shion in that scene, he reeled back because that was the first time he felt pain ever. But like, you know, like he'll I have to assume we'll do a scene where he uses the sword and can still feel pain anyway. Because why not? Why wouldn't we do that? But yeah, like, so
Do I even have the right to fight? Do I have the right to go to Shion's rescue? What do the others think?
Yeah, so Alphen is dealing with, like, remembering some real heavy shit. But the main thing that changes is just how Alphen is reacting. Oh, can I fast travel here? Damn, I call bottom bunk. Top bunk's just some sticks. Ooh, look at this. This is actually really cool. We no longer have the mask at all. We can't mask. That's kind of neat. I like that. Again, so far, Alphen has been the character holding the game together. Shion, I think, kind of as well. Everyone else has just kind of been. I'm fine with Dolim and Kisara. Kisara, I wish, wasn't so on about her brother. I feel like that undercuts her character a little bit. And Dolim feels a little too heavy into the Sad Lord bit. But I don't mind that too much. Because it's likely preferable to the alternatives. Law and Rinwell, I don't know what the fuck to think anymore. Thislan. Anyway, we got a town check out. There's a cow. Well, Dolim's first up. Let's do that.
You're certainly full of surprises, aren't you?
Trust me, it's not intentional.
Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Though, there's still an awful lot I wish I could understand. Every new piece of information seems only to yield further mysteries. The truth feels just as elusive as when we first started. I am well aware of where you got your powers. But why, as a Dahnan, do you bear the same crest as the current Renin sovereign? More to the point, why choose a Dahnan for their sovereign in the first place? And then there is the Maiden, a figure so powerful, she's playing yin to the sovereign's yang in esoteric ceremonies. And
Esoteric.
yet, I've never even heard of her. Then again, this all occurred 300 years ago. What if the term sovereign doesn't even hold the same meaning as it did back then? Listen, I may be a traitor among my people.
Dolim's probably the best person to talk to about
I am
this, ain't
still
it?
Renin, born and raised. I learned the same history, listened rapt to the same tales. And yet now I feel like there was little truth to any of it.
Speaking of which, there's something else that I remember from the spirit channeling ceremony. It used the Renis Alma.
What? How do you... What?
You're certain?
What?
Yes. Or at least that's what they called it. Only you would know if it was one and the same.
Oh, I have never laid eyes on the real artifact myself. And you never participated in a crown contest. You're not even Renin. Many mysteries lay buried in these 3 centuries past.
3 centuries is more than several lifetimes. Was I really out that long?
Well, I'm only estimating based on historical record. But all the facts would seem to point that way.
Who the hell am I?
If I may be frank, we have even bigger fish to fry than that. By comparison, the far more important question at hand is, just what does it all mean?
Frank, huh?
Sometimes, we need a little help in addressing the truth behind our pain. Not to compete over lives lost, but I suspect your count is still somewhat beneath mine.
Thanks for lending me an ear. And sorry for being a bother.
Please, no thanks are necessary. The quicker you get back on your feet, the sooner we can all get back out there.
Yeah, the Redis Alma is likely that orb they had that looked like it was like a winged version of a Master Core. So, but they never named it in the scenes. I guess, sure, we have... Okay, so... How's Shion tied to all this? Like... She's clearly not the same person as Naori, but she has the same last name and looks the same and like, I don't know. She's seventh daughter of the seventh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah, also, I think you're right, Burnhead, that Law and Rinwell are pretty wrapped.
All this time, I thought it was the worrying about Shion and the pain bringing you down. I didn't realize you were lonely too.
I guess all of us are. In one way or another.
Yeah, but you've only just found out. I mean, no, not found out. Remembered.
To tell you the truth, I was actually beginning to forget I'd even lost my memory in the first place. Now that it's returned, well, you can see what I'm like. It's strange. When I think about Lenegis, it still feels like it was only a year or two ago that I was there. But then I realized what feels like years was actually centuries ago.
What about your hometown? Do you know if it's still there?
I doubt it. When the Renans invaded, the world as I knew it changed overnight. Even if the place is still there physically, I expect the people will be long gone. Certainly everyone I knew, at least. My family, my friends.
Yeah, I know how that feels. I have no home to return to either. No family waiting for me. I used to curse my bad luck that I'd ever been born a mage in the first place. Otherwise, if I hadn't, maybe my mother and father would still be alive today. Although if that had been the case, I guess I'd probably still be just another slave with no means to resist. I'd never have met up with you guys, that's for sure.
Have you learned to embrace your powers yet?
Nuh-uh. I resent them a little less than before, though. They've kept me alive this long, right? I try not to think about it too much. After all, who can predict what the future will hold? I guess what I'm trying to say is that with everything that's happened in your past, finding out you're the Sovereign and all, it's no wonder you're conflicted. Heck, honestly, I think anyone would be.
Rinwell.
First it was Shion, then it was me, and now it's you. All of us suffering, just because of some power we never even asked for.
Yeah. All this time you were suffering right in front of me, and I never even knew. I feel like I finally understand what you and Shion were going through.
You couldn't have known. Still, if you want to make it up to her, shouldn't we hurry it up and rescue her already? Poor Shion must be lonely, all by herself wherever she is.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get going.
There's an owl in town. What's up?
What do you see out there?
Zeugles. Strays by the looks of it. We unwittingly disturbed their territory on our way here, and now they're looking pretty riled up. So, feel like you're making headway? You know, sorting through things?
All I know is Shion needs our help. As for what happens after that...
Say, how did you get back down here from Lenegis anyway?
I came down in a Renan starship. I have Naori to thank for that.
Okay.
What happened to her? Did she come with you?
Sure.
She stayed behind. Just as I wanted to get back to Dana and my people, Naori's place was with her fellow Renans, performing her duties as the Maiden. Neither of us asked for the power or roles we were given. I suppose we felt a kinship with each other in that sense. But even then...
Wait, so you mean it wasn't just Danans like you that Lenegis abducted? You're saying they forced Naori, one of their own, to serve against her will as well?
Even within Renan society itself, there exists a hierarchy. I don't think she was ever given the option to refuse. Despite that, she did everything she possibly could to serve her people. The very same ones I ended up slaughtering. And even after that, she still helped me escape back to Dana. She stayed behind on Lenegis to help any of her people who survived. I owe her more than words can express. A debt left to fester for what? 300 years? How do I even begin to make up for something like that?
In all honesty, you don't. You can't atone for what's happened in the past. I don't think anyone can. Be it several centuries ago, or just yesterday.
What are you saying? That I might as well give up?
I'm saying you don't have to be a white knight in shining armor.
That's my job.
Back after my brother had passed away, it was you who told me that his dream lived on inside me. And you did the same for him, for Dohalim, when he was ready to give up too. You were there for both of us. You know what I heard? I heard you telling me to keep fighting, to strive no matter what.
Then I was out of line. I had no right to ask that of you.
No, you're wrong. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't even be here had I not heard them. Left to my own devices, who knows when I would have been able to pick myself up. Besides, it's not like killing all those people was a choice that you made of your own free will, right? The truly terrible ones are the people who abducted you.
Popol.
The ones who forced you to wield that power. They're the ones you should be blaming. Not only that, but that guilt you feel inside, that's all the proof you need to know you're a good person, Alphen. Do you understand? If I'm still allowed to fight and keep on living, then damn it, Alphen, so the hell are you. But
we're in a
if
real
you're still
cutscene
not
heavy area,
convinced,
aren't we?
Then ask yourself this. What is it that you've really been fighting for this whole time? Go on, ask yourself.
Popol.
What I've been fighting for, huh?
No, don't ask it that way. If you're going to ask that specific question, there's only one way to do it, you know? Gotta trust me on this one. Yeah, we're in a very heavy, like, just plot stuff going on. You know?
Alphen, are we gonna go rescue Shion or what? What's gotten into you, man? Aren't you worried about her?
Do I even have any right to be?
If you were in my place, you'd say, to hell with all that. What do you want to do?
Sounds like me. Pretending I have all the answers is kind of my forte.
Come on, man. Snap out of it. This isn't like you. Look, I get it.
You finally remember your past, only to feel like you've lost yourself again. You're in shock, and who wouldn't be? Worse still, you blame yourself for what happened. And yeah, I don't agree, but that doesn't mean I don't understand either. But here's the thing. None of that's got anything to do with Shion.
I guess.
It's about Naori, isn't it? Look, you're still here, aren't you? Who's to say this chick isn't alive and kicking out there somewhere, too? Fine, I've said my piece. The thing is, though, where does this leave Shion?
My power consumed me once already. I left behind a path of fire and destruction. And the same thing could happen again. I can't guarantee anyone's safety, including Shion's.
So you think we might get burned up because of your sovereign powers? I can think of worse ways to go. Come on, fight this thing! What happened to the guy who talked to me after my dad died? The one who cared enough to reach out and save me? That's the guy I was proud to follow. Not this faltering imposter who's taken his place.
Law.
No, I'm serious. What's gotten into you, man? Just give me the word and I'll beat some sense into you if that's what it takes. Now, I'm gonna ask you this once and only once. Are you serious about rescuing Shion or not? What's it gonna be, Alphen?
What do you think? Of course I want to rescue her. Hell, I'd do it right now if I could.
So then quit griping and do it already!
Listen, you're probably right about all this.
Alphen.
It's exactly like you said. Whatever happened in my past has nothing to do with Shion. But there's still so much that There I go again. So much for the inspiring Alphen of old.
He could be a pain sometimes. Besides, even a hero has to let the cracks show once in a while, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Just give me a little more time to fill in the cracks. And thanks, Law.
Hey, don't even mention it. You've totally got this, Alphen. I believe in you.
Back to the inn, I guess.
And yeah, kind of what they said there is the main point. We've learned a ton of stuff that has just nothing to do with any of this, right? So...
Alphen! There you are!
What is it?
Zeugles, that's what! They're almost at the village gates!
Any closer and they'll be house hunting. I knew we shouldn't have cut through their territory.
That sounds bad.
Can you fight? No shame in bowing out if you're not up for it.
Kisara's right. You don't want to go overdoing it.
I'm up for it.
Really?
You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. It's now or never, right?
Alphen, right! Great to have you back! Now let's do this!
And then we got... bumbling fighter extraordinaire.
Look sharp, people. If we don't act fast, they're...
I want... Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And then it wants me to cut. No. Are you kidding me? Under absolutely no circumstances is Dolim on my bench.
Going to get into the village.
Right. We need to hurry.
Pointing. Hey, Zoogles.
Remember, if the paint's too much,
We've all got our own pain to deal with. I'm done letting others pick up my slack.
Here they come. We can't let even a single one through.
There's a firm no-Zoogle policy.
Fine by me. Let's get to work then. Debut performance.
Double demon fang!
Can you take it? I can carve through armor.
You require a help. Its armor's too strong.
Then I'll split it open.
Be my guest.
In a vine.
Holy Land!
Take this! You're finished!
Super swallow dance.
Come!
Denied.
Destruction! Eat dirt!
Do it.
Raging!
Look sharp!
Lightning tiger blade.
Radiant light! Regeneration!
Regeneration! Not in your dreams!
Allow me to help you. Allow me to help you.
Double demon fang!
Illuminate the dark!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah. No, to me.
Damn it. I was trying to overlimit there to get out of that, but
Couldn't make it in time.
That's my cue!
Double demon fang! Shut him down! Super swallow dance! In an instant! Impact block! Now, take this! Resonate with the earth! Double demon fang! I'm ready! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
yeah, not only the fire sword is a little bit of a loss, but not too big.
Alphen, you okay?
I'm fine. This pain thing really hurts, huh?
But hey, at least you're still alive.
Who
It
invented
wouldn't
this
be called
crap?
pain if it was pleasant. It can be pretty useful, though. It's good motivation to improve and get stronger.
Guess I've got a lot of room to improve in that regard.
Anyway, I'm glad we could protect the village, especially after everything they've done for us.
I like Dolim with the wings.
Yeah.
You know, this Olim kind of reminds me of home. The people here have hidden themselves away out of the fear of being found, always watching their backs. Though in the end, home was destroyed anyway.
That won't happen here.
Oh? Is that a hint of fighting spirit I sense?
Yeah. I won't lie. Some of these memories will take a while to process. But I've learned something too. My rage, this fury I feel at our so-called rulers, it comes from having so much of myself stripped away from me back then. Friends, family, home. They took everything from me and left me with nothing but guilt. I was completely alone. At least that's what I thought. But not anymore. Since I awakened, I've met people who I care about. Friends who hold me up. Friends who make me feel like I'm worth something. And I won't lose that. Not ever again. I'll protect those bonds with everything I have. That's why I need to keep fighting.
But Xion comes first.
Of course. First we rescue Xion, then we defeat Vholran and liberate Dana. Everyone, will you fight with me?
Say the word and I'm there.
Warrior like
no
pose.
objections.
Then it's agreed. Our next stop will be the capital, Pelegion. According to the villagers, there's a huge cliff separating Thistleum from the capital. Luckily for us, there's a path we can use to climb up.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
We don't know what lies ahead. We should prepare well before we venture forth.
Yeah, can't exactly fight at the top of your game when you're hungry.
Good point. Let's stop by the inn and plan our next move from there. By the way, how is Mahavar doing? Wait, don't tell me we still haven't found him.
Ripped
It's
Captain.
not like we haven't been looking. I've covered the whole length and breadth of the coast, but...
All of the other crew members are accounted for, including us. But we weren't able to find Mahavar. He's still missing.
I see.
Perhaps he couldn't bring himself to abandon the ship.
You mean at the bottom of the ocean? Damn it.
We don't know that it sank. We all washed up on the same shore. If the ship went down, isn't it strange we haven't come across a single piece of debris?
Do you think he might still be alive somewhere out there?
I think stranger things have happened. Whether he's alive or otherwise, we've exhausted all the avenues available to us. All we can do now is press on ahead.
Fine, let's get going.
Well, rip Captain. Alright, so we gotta do some skits, and we gotta head on down to, like, see what sort of equipment we have access to now.
Thistleum was founded by Danans fleeing the tyranny of Renan lords, right? But when you first came, they must have known Dohalim was Renan. So why do you think they let us in?
They almost didn't. But it wasn't just Dohalim they were wary of. They didn't trust any of us.
Even the weird Danans just like them?
When you live life in constant fear of being pursued, it's only a matter of time before all outsiders start to seem a potential threat.
I suppose that makes sense. So how did you convince them to trust us?
You saw how destitute the village was. They needed food, badly. We hunted some Zeugles for them. That seemed to do the trick.
Of course, a little magic-assisted roast didn't hurt things.
Never underestimate a full stomach's ability to put a person at ease. It turns out a hearty meal can be a powerful weapon.
Beyond vengeance, I am Batman.
Something's on your mind. You having second thoughts about rescuing Xion?
Of course not. Xion's our friend.
Well, that's nice of you to
Almeidrea
say.
was the one I hated. For as long as I can remember, she served as a symbol to me of everything Renan. But ever since getting to know Xion, I realized it doesn't make sense to group people together like that. Every individual is different.
I see.
Besides, the situation with Almeidrea was something else entirely. I'd already decided I wasn't going to kill her, but when I saw her die right in front of me, a part of me thought it served her right, that she'd gotten what she deserved. But another part regretted that someone else had come along and killed her instead. Don't get me wrong. If I had the chance again, I still wouldn't kill her. But it's not like I'll be shedding any tears now that she's gone. It's all so confusing. I don't know how to make sense of any of it.
Really convenient, too.
Who said it had to make sense?
Huh?
Rinwell, you've done nothing wrong. You've started to question the beliefs you've held all your life. It's only natural for you to feel disoriented. You didn't give in to the hatred you felt for Almeidrea. You made a choice not to kill her. And that's significant, whether you realize it or not. As for what it means exactly, that might be worth taking some time to figure out on your own.
Some time.
Or don't, if you don't want to. It's just an idea. I'm still searching too, remember?
No, I think you're right. It can't hurt to keep searching after all. And hey, thanks, Kisara.
Alright.
Okay.
Why?
Dire straits. Ah, stealing our fish.
Damn it.
What?
Fish don't grow on trees.
Is that so?
Okay.
Great job.
Crimes against fish. I can't believe who would punch a fish. If you're gonna catch a fish, you gotta fish like legit. You don't punch it.
I'll teach this small fry who's the apex predator of these waters. Just watch and see.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
I guess we're having fish for dinner tonight.
A new friend. Hello. The star.
Looks like we've spotted one of Hoodle's friends.
Is Hoodle the apex predator? Alright, what is this building? Is this like where I want this to be shops. Nope, it's just sort of a building. Alright. Wonder if we even have... We might not have more than just an inn in town, actually, which is a little disappointing. Beef. Oh no, we do. Okay. Oh, we need level 5. Well, we're near... Goodness, are we near the end of the game, then? Rank 5 crystals in Xenoblade were meant you were at the end of the game. The Dark Wings. Black Timber Gauntlets. Refined Tenebrae Staff. The Radiant Shield. Alright. Oh, you gotta purchase. Treats are the same cost as orange gel. Oh my god. I will never recover from this decision. Okay. Okay, one thing we're gonna do. Can I teleport right now? No. Damn. Huh. I was gonna go fight this. I guess we're locked here. I guess... Weird. I can't even Owl Forest? Wow. Alright. Well. And anyway, I think this is where I'm going to stop for today. I could go a little longer, but I'm going to be going over on Ty's stream at 10 tonight. And I want a little bit of a break so I can grab a food. And if I go any further, I feel like I might hit another wall of cutscenes. So, today I'll get cut a little short than usual. That just means next week will be longer to make, you know, to balance those. Anyway, hope you all had a fun time. A lot of plot, but like none of it meaningful in weird ways, you know what I mean? Like, I'd say not meaningful. That's not an odd way to put it. A lot of stuff with Alphen just doesn't matter, right? So, anyway, so thank you all for joining. If you want to catch more, you can always follow us in our live, subscribe. Upcoming streams, as I said, I'm gonna be over on Ties in about an hour. We're doing Mario Party. I think that's the only stream thing I've planned. Might try to fit in some Pokemon over the weekend. Not sure. We'll see if that works. Yoko tomorrow? There's Yoko tomorrow. Check out Yoko. 8:30 Eastern? That's tomorrow. Yeah, anyway. That's gonna be it. Thank y'all. Have a good night, everybody.